And welcome to Craft Studio. My name is Abby. I'm so glad you could join me today. I have some finished objects to share with you. I have one in crochet and I have two in sewing. That's really all I have. But I do have I can't even think of what I don't know, an exciting adventure that I got to go on yesterday to share with you. So welcome. Please grab something to drink and a little snack if you want. Sit down and let's go over some fun things. Okay. All right. So, I guess I'll start off with my finished objects, and then I'll share the adventure, because if I get to talking, I may not to get to the finished objects. But anyway, so if you remember, I was going to make those bunny baskets for my girls for Easter. They're crochet bunny baskets that I found in this magazine, Simply Crochet. Now this is not a new issue, this is actually an older issue, but I happened to look through them and I saw this pattern and I just loved it and I wanted to try it, so I did. So I will show you a picture, but really quickly. It's this one. So as you can see, I left off the hair, the little tufts of hair. And I know last time I was showing the first one I made and I was having some trouble with the ears. The ears kept falling down. They weren't standing up like in the picture. So anyway, well, I figured out why. Because in the pattern they used recycled big cotton, which was 60% cotton and 40% polyester. And then the cotton Aran, which is that's 100% cotton. So mine are a little bit floppy because it doesn't. I think because it doesn't have that stuff in it. The polyester, I mean, I just used what I had in my stash because I did not, I didn't want to have to go out and buy stuff. So what I used was the Lion brand Woolies. I believe it was, or Thick and Quick or something like that. And then I just used the mercerized cotton for the ears. But here's one basket. Now I did go ahead and stuff it with plastic bags, plastic grocery bags, so you could see it a little bit better. As you can see, the ears are standing up not too bad. I didn't do anything to them, but I really like the little face, the eyes and the nose. And then it has a little handle. So yeah, I just, for Easter, for my daughters, I just stuffed it with that fake grass, put some candy in it, put some little, toys and, like nail polish and pencils and stamps, little goodies for them. And so they loved them. I was pleased with them, and it was not a difficult project. It wasn't time consuming. Sorry about the crinkling. Here's the second one. Okay, so this one is a little this one looks, yeah, the ears are not one to stay up. Look at that. Okay, so I take back what I said. But anyway, so this is the other one. So I finished them. So I was thankful for that. I think I finished them Saturday night. So we were able to, my husband and I got up early on Sunday and filled the baskets and had them ready for them. So anyway, I was happy. I'd never done anything like that before, so I think they turned out pretty good. And they're a fun thing for them to play with, after Easter. So it's not just a one-time thing. So yeah, okay. So yeah, and I got the pattern out of Simply Crochet magazine. That comes from the UK. I really like their patterns. They're quick and easy to follow. And just a little side note on my slippers. One of your comments, I think it was my friend Annabelle, she said the UK shoe size are bigger than us in the States. I'm in the United States. I was not aware of that. So when I made my slippers, I went by the size in the UK. It's not my size, so that's why I made those slippers, those crochet slippers, if you saw my last video. That's why they're too big. I didn't know that. I thought it was all... So, okay. Lesson learned. I can still wear them. It's just... I have to wear them with socks so they don't fall off. Because the slippers kind of stick to my socks and then they stay. Even though they're still a little floppy, they don't fall off. So I can't wear them barefoot because they just actually might make me trip and fall. So that's not a good idea. Okay, so thank you, Annabelle. Thank you for your comment. By the way, if you are not subscribed to Annabelle, it's actually dollbellieknits. Go check out her channel. I will put a link in the down bar. She and her husband are raising chickens. And she is putting out chicken videos each week. Now they bought them as little baby chicks and have raised them. They are now laying eggs. And oh my goodness, her videos are so much fun. It actually makes me, well, even before her videos came out, I've been trying to convince my husband to move out to the country so we can raise chickens and or sheep. Still a work in progress, but anyway, but yeah, I watch her videos every week and they are just so much fun. So if that's something you're interested, I mean, she does knitting and crochet also, but right now it's mostly the chickens and it is just so much fun. So go check her out. I highly recommend it. It's hilarious. It's fun and entertaining at the same time, very educational too. She shares, you know, some of their things that they've learned since raising chickens and when they first got them, and you know, it's things that they've learned along the way, you know, how to care for them. And anyway, it's very, very cool. Very cool. So keep up the good work, Annabelle. All right. So my two finished objects in sewing are my modern folksy bunnies, which are it's a pattern by Ginger Cake. I think it's Ginger Cake Designs, and I can put a link in the down bar if anyone is interested. This pattern is a paid pattern. It was on sale for $5, but it's not just the bunny, it's also a folksy kitty cat. Now, I've not tried the cat yet. I'm planning to, just haven't done it yet. The bunnies have kept me busy. As I said, the main part of the bunny is pretty, I'm not going to say simple, but it's very straightforward. If you have basic sewing skills and you have the pattern, it is no problem. And she even has a tutorial to kind of walk you through it. Very well done. Highly recommend it. The hardest part for me, and I will go ahead and show you one of them so you have a visual while I'm talking. The hardest part for me making these bunnies was the tail, because I am horrible at making pom-poms and sewing them on, but she also has a video on how to sew them on, so I had to watch that a few times. Now this one I did not make a bow like on my very first bunny. I made a bow. This one, because the fabric was shorter, I just did a crisscross and then sewed a button to keep it in place, which I think it looks nice too. And I did not put as much fusible fleece in the ears as my first one. I think it called for like 3 or 4 to really make them stand up. And I was kind of hoping that they would flop down because I think that looks cute. But so I just put one thing of fusible fleece in each ear and they're still standing up. They're kind of lopsided, but that's okay. So anyway, this was the second bunny that I made. This is Charlotte. This was for my youngest, because at first my middle daughter was like, well, I I mean, I like bunnies, but I like cats better. I was like, okay, so I'll make you a cat. So I said, while I'm making bunnies, while I know what I'm doing, I'll go ahead and make Sissy's bunny, and then I'll make yours. Well, then when I got done with my youngest daughter's bunny, my middle daughter was like, I want a bunny. She got very upset, and I was like, okay, I'll make you a bunny, but I thought you wanted the cat. She's like, well, I do, but I want both, but I want the bunny first. Okay, so that's what I did. I went ahead and made her a bunny. So this is the third bunny I made. She asked for this pink tail. I did not, and it's fine, it's fine. I did not have any of this pink yarn, really chunky, bulky yarn. I didn't have any, so I did have to go to, I think I got it at Walmart. I ran through Walmart and got some. But, so this is Gertrude. This is Gertrude. And this one, I'm not too crazy about what happened with the tie on the neck. It wasn't long enough to tie a bow. But I think it's a little too long just hanging down like that. But, oh well. I just sewed the button there. And then my daughter did have a complaint about the eyes. She said the eyes are too small compared to my rabbit and my other daughter's rabbit. And but she didn't tell me that until I had already sewn them on. So I was like, okay, if they come off, I will sew on different eyes, bigger ones if that's what you want. So anyway, there it is, Gertrude. Gertrude and Charlotte. Aren't they adorable? Okay. So I love these. I just got to tell you, I really love making these because I am hoping they last a very long time, and I hope that my daughters can hang on to them, and maybe when they have children of their own, they can show them and say, see, Grandma Abby made this. If they last that long. I really hope they do. I don't know if they will. I hope they do. So it's a little piece of me, just like my crochet and knitting also, you know, stuff that we have made for family members and friends that they can pass it down, you know, and wow, you know, share that. Okay, so now we can move on to my adventure. Okay, are you ready for this? Okay. So my aunt, I'll try to cut out the unnecessary parts because it's kind of a long story, but I just get carried away and want to tell you everything because I'm so excited. So I really gotta, okay, what's necessary, what's not. Okay, so my great aunt calls me up, wanted to pick up something that I had available that she needed. So she came over, we got to talking, and she said, by the way, I've really seen you've really, you know, kind of taken off with your sewing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm having a great time, I'm learning a lot. And she's like, that's really great. And I said something about I'm really wanting to quilt, I want to make some quilts, but I said I don't know the necessary things yet, I'm still learning. I've kind of been learning by videos on YouTube or books that I get at the library or magazines. She's like, oh, she's like, I quilt. And so she pulls out her phone and starts going through all these photos of quilts she's made. And I was like, wow, you know. And so anyway, I said, well, I know how to do this and I know how to do that, but these two things I really don't know how to do. She's like, well, I wish you were free on a Tuesday morning. And I was like, well, why is that? And she said, well, we get together at the church and do our quilting from 9 to 11. And I was like, well, I am free on a Tuesday morning. And I thought it was at her church in the town where she lives. And she's like, no, it's in Grandma's. My great-grandmother, okay, which she passed away, I can't even remember how long ago. 2009 maybe? 2010, somewhere around there. She was 97, okay, my great-grandmother. Both my great-grandmothers lived to be in their late 90s. One was 95, I think, and the other one was 97. But they're both passed away. But anyway, it was at her church in her hometown. And she used to do quilting. She would meet with the ladies of the church. They would do quilting. Now, I don't know if they did it weekly then too, or monthly. I don't know all the details, but I knew that she quilted. So I said, it's at Grandma's old church. And she said, yes. And I said, I will meet you there. So yesterday morning, I took a little trip. It's just a small town south of us. I don't know, maybe 10 miles, 12 miles south of where I am. And so I know the area. It's not unknown, of course, and I visited her when she lived there. But anyway, so I meet my aunt at the church, and there's a group of ladies there, and they're working on a quilt. And so, my aunt introduced us and said, she's wanting to learn how to quilt. She's like, oh, well, here, get this and start working. And I was like, oh. So my expectations of what this quilting group was basically a room with tables set up with quilts hanging over them and women sitting around the edges sewing, hand quilting. That's my expectation. It was not that at all. There was one lady that was sitting at a quilt that was on one of those quilt stands, and she was sewing. The other one was at this humongous table in the middle of the room, and they were actually, and my aunt, my great aunt, not my aunt, my great aunt. So this is my grandmother's sister. So it's my great grandmother's youngest daughter. There were 7 of them, so it was a big family. But anyway, so they were working on this quilt. So they let me jump in, and they let me help. So now I didn't do, stuff that of course I didn't know how. They would tell me how to do it. But anyway, I got to help. That was really fun. And then they moved it, once they were done working on what they were working on the big table, they moved it over to one of the stands, and I actually got to tie. Oh, it was so much fun. So I'm going to go back. They invited me to come back, and I am going to go back. But what they do is they make these quilts and donate them to a children's home here in town where I live. And I don't know if they give that annually or like every 6 months or whatever. But they also, my aunt was telling me, they have a bazaar, like a craft show bazaar in November. And they sell lots of like lap quilts and things that they make, like pot holders and dishcloths and, ornaments, cup cozies, things like that. And all the proceeds are given to this children's home. So anyway, they do that once a year. And she said, well, we start getting ready for that in August. She's like, you could help us with that too. And I was like, yay! I'm so excited. So anyway, when I got back home yesterday, I took some pictures, and I will share a couple pictures in my editing. But when I got back home, I remembered there was a quilt that my grandmother made me, and I can't remember how old I was. I was probably maybe 7 or 8 maybe, when my great-grandmother made me a quilt, and I still have it. I don't use it, but I still have it. So I pulled it out, and it is pretty big, so I can't show you the whole thing. And I was going to go outside and lay it out on the ground and film it so you guys could see it better. But our yard is a mess. It needs cleaned up pretty bad. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I'll just show you bits and pieces of it. But this is the quilt. I'm going to cover up my face for just a minute so you can see it, okay? So it's all like that. So what they do is they piece these squares together and sew them together, and then they do the binding, and then of course the back, now this is where it needs to be fixed. All this is coming apart, see that? The backing is just really kind of falling apart. But anyway, they tie it in the front with these yarn ties. they do that by hand, and that's one of the things I learned how to do yesterday. So I was thinking, and they had, the quilt that they were working on was actually one of the kids they had given when they graduated from high school, and each one of the kids they give a quilt to when they graduate high school. So one of the graduates, who is of course, grown and married and has her own family, had her quilt from her graduation, and I guess the back was really ripped up, or it had fallen apart, or just really bad. So she sent it back up to these ladies. Now I don't know all the details, but anyway, they got it, and basically they took the backing off that was ruined pretty much, and cut all of these ties, put a new back on it, and then was retying it and rebinding it, making it like new. I mean, there were some other things they had to repair on it, but I was kind of thinking maybe I could do that for my quilt, and maybe we could use it in the living room, because it's not big enough to fit on my bed, my husband and I's bed. So maybe we could use it in the living room, or maybe I could even give it to one of my girls. I don't know. But I think I would really like to fix it just so it can last a little bit longer, because the front is fine. I think there's only 2 places on the front that it may have a couple little, but it's really big. It's really big quilt. And my great grandmother made one for me, and then my 2 older brothers got one too. So, but by that time, she had arthritis in her hands, and I think her eyesight was kind of getting bad. So I don't think I have two younger siblings, that I do not think that they got a quilt. But anyway, maybe they did. I can't remember. But anyway, so this is just very, very special to me, because I was in my grandmother's church quilting like she used to do, following in her footsteps. It was very, very, very special to me, and I'm so grateful my great aunt gave me this opportunity, and that I can go back, and it's a way to give back to the community. And no one is paying us to do that. They actually get fabric donated to them. So they have my aunt was showing me boxes and boxes of fabric. They've got it organized to like fall colors, summer colors, solids, stripes, stuff like that. But she said, if you need it, oh, I forgot. This is the other exciting thing. So I had told her I wanted to make quilts for my daughter's beds. And she said, well, before you go anywhere else, look through our fabric, because this was donated to us. We did not buy it. And if you can pick out what you want. And she had some boxes already of squares already cut out. So all you have to do is really piece them together, sew them together. So all the cutting is kind of already done. So anyway, she was showing me some of them, and she's like, and if you want, we could help you, if you wanted to make one for your son too, and they could all have a new quilt for Christmas. And I was like, you're kidding, right? She said, no, we'll help you. Wow. Praise the Lord. That is so exciting. I just can't. I would like to make, so anyway, that's wonderful. My mind just went somewhere else. But anyway, I would like to make a quilt for me and my husband's bed as well. But ours is a queen size bed, so it would be a pretty big quilt. But so these are all works in progress, of course, something that I will be working on for pretty much, a long time. But anyway, something very exciting. I'm just so excited, so thankful for this opportunity, and for these ladies passing on their knowledge to me. I mean, these are things that you can't really, you can learn from a book and you can learn from a video, but being in the same room with a person that has been doing it for how many years? I don't even know how many years these ladies have been quilting. and you get to know them, you form relationships, and it's just, I don't think anything can really compare to that. You can't even pay for that, you know? So anyway, that is all I have to share with you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. And oh, I almost forgot, I do have a new item that is going to be coming into my shop. It's not quite done yet. It's almost done, but not quite. I've been working on it the last couple days, so stay tuned for that. I will share it on Instagram when it is ready, so you can follow me at Craft Studio Bags on Instagram. So anyway, it's a new item coming to the shop. Very excited about it. So anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless. Take care. I will see you in the next video. Bye. I forgot my coffee. I was just going to take a drink of coffee like I usually do when the video is over, and I have no coffee. Next time.